The Prose Edda. Gyfaginning. Here begins the beguiling of Gylfi. King Gylfi ruled the land that men now call Sweden. It is told of him that he gave to a wandering woman, in return for her merrymaking, a plough land in his realm, as much as 4 oxen might turn up in a day and a night. But this woman was of the kin of the Aesir. She was named Gyfaginning. She took from the north out of Jotunheim 4 oxen which were the soils of a certain giant and herself, and set them before the plough. And the plough cut so wide and so deep that it loosened up the land, and the oxen drew the land out into the sea and to the westward, and stopped in a certain sound. There Gyfaginning set the land and gave it a name, calling it Sealand. And from that time on, the spot whence the land had been torn up is water, and is now called the Loger of Sweden. And bays lie in that lake, even as the headlands in Sealand. Thus says Bragi, the ancient skald. Gyfaginning from Gylfi, gladly the wave Prose freehold, till from the running beast sweat reeked to Denmark's increase. Be oxen bore moreover 8 eyes, gleaming brow lights, o'er the fields wide, booty and 4 heads in their ploughing. King Gylfi was a wise man and skilled in magic. He was much troubled that the Aesir people were so cunning that all things went according to their will. He pondered whether this might proceed from their own nature, or within the divine powers which they worshipped might ordain such things. He set out on his way to Asgard, going secretly, and clad himself in the likeness of an old man, with which he dissembled. But the Aesir were wiser in this matter, having second sight, and they saw his journeying before ever he came, and prepared against him deceptions of the eye. When he came into this town, he saw there a hall so high that he could not easily make out the top of it. Its thatching was laid with golden shields, after the fashion of a shingled roof. So says Thialfur of Heaven that the hall was thatched with shields. On their backs they let beam, sore battered with stones, Odin's hall shingles, the shrewd seafarers. In the doorway Gylfi saw a man juggling with anlances, leaving 7 in the air at one time. This man asked of him his name. He called himself Gangleri, and said he had come by the paths of the serpent, and prayed for lodging for the night, asking, "Who owns the hall?" The other replied that it was their king, and I will attend thee to see him. Then shalt thou thyself ask him concerning his name. And the man wheeled about before him into the hall, and he went after, and straightway the door closed itself on his heels. There he saw a great room, and much people, some with games, some drinking, and some had weapons and were fighting. Then he looked about him, and thought unbelievable many things which he saw, and he said, all the gateways ere one goes out should one scan, for 'tis uncertain where sit the